Yo, what's up?
Nothing. How are you?
I feel like we've just seen a lot of each other, and now we see each other again. Ooh, the energy drink. How is it?
Um, Gatorade.
Yes.
I would love Gatorade to become a sponsor of me and/or the podcast.
Yeah, I would too. I love their stuff.
This fast twitch power energy drink,
Yeah.
Cool Blue.
Yeah.
I would say not bad.
Not bad, huh?
Not
Okay.
bad. It might have been the thing that made me want to poop this afternoon, but all in all, not bad.
Well, it's good that you're staying regular.
Yes, sir. It is always good. You, sir, spent the overnight flying back to the East Coast.
Yeah, I did.
How was your trip?
It was okay. I finished the first 3 episodes of season 3 of Righteous Gemstones, and then I got into The Last of Us. I started watching that, but other than that, I couldn't really sleep on the plane. Don't know why. Usually I pass out, but not in this case. So I just pretty much sat there and watched TV show, and then came home and slept till about 1.
1? God damn.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, I mean, I didn't get home till like 7.
I understand, but
Yeah. So
that's a decent 5-6 hours of slumber.
Yeah. So it was good. I didn't want to sleep. I could have slept longer, but I'm like, if I slept longer, then I would never go to bed at night.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's a double-edged sword, man.
Yeah.
Back and forth, ups and downs, ins and outs. Oh wait. Anyway.
As a frequent traveler across this great nation, I'm sure you have plenty of pro tips.
My dumb tip is I keep my watch on the same time zone no matter where I am.
Okay, why?
I'm dumb, and so like where do I live right now, Mangler?
Huh?
Where do I live right now?
You live in Seattle.
Great. Where do you think my watch or my phone's time is set to?
New York.
Correct.
Okay.
It's because I'm dumb. I don't know any better.
That makes no sense. Now, I do like the West Coast time zone better. Just in the fact that, like, TV and stuff is like sports and that. You're like, oh, it's done, and it's like still I can do things. I kind of like that.
I guess. I don't know. I'm all about just shit getting recorded, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
I don't like to let some other thing rule my life.
No, but I like the fact that a baseball game that starts at 7 starts actually at 4, and so by the time it's done, it's just like, oh, okay. No, I kind of like that.
I buy it.
Yeah,
so
West Coast time zone, but oh well.
Yeah, time zones they can be a motherfucker. All right. Well,
Do you know who invented the time zones?
No, I don't want to know either. Let's carry on.
It's the railroad. I'm telling you anyway. Fuck you.
No one's listening. So, you came out to Seattle for what reason?
To come out to race at SeaTac. Well, actually, just see you really, and your lovely bride.
So cute.
And I mean, really, that's the whole gist of it. There just happened to be an RC race at the same time.
Yeah, it was double motivation. That's what.
The Summer Sizzler, is that what it is? Or the Slam? I don't know. What is it?
I think it's the Sizzler. It might be the Summer Sizzler. Everyone just says Sizzler for short.
All right.
So maybe
the Summer Grand Sizzler. We're gonna make this thing a race.
I think we need to make it a real race, and it could happen. People are listening.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah,
thanks, Jordan. Jaden, sorry, I can't.
Yeah, so maybe people will listen to this. Like the track at in Seattle here, right outside the airport, known as SeaTac, it is really nice in the grand scheme of things. And like,
it is. It's great. I mean, I would say it definitely could be a top 10 track.
Well, yeah, if you think about it from like a surface perspective,
Yeah.
um, there might be tracks that are good because the people that are there.
Mm-hmm.
You take it like in an absolute terms for asphalt tracks that focus on 10 scale, I think it's probably top 5 in the country because
Yeah.
not even that many realistically.
Right.
Um, like the very short list, um, you can kind of look at where people have had asphalt nats as of late.
Yeah.
There's Valkyrie, there's Coral Springs, and Mangler, I'm not going to make you say it, but like from what I believe, SeaTac's probably better than both of those tracks.
Yes. It
At
is.
least the surface has more grip than both
Yes.
of those tracks.
Yes.
All right.
And a non-prepped at that. I think that whatever reason, SeaTac, the cars generate a lot of side bite there.
Mhm.
And I think if you side bite kind of solves all problems, right? Like if you have it, then you can work around everything.
Mhm.
But if you don't have it, which Valkyrie and Coral Springs really don't have a ton of, then you're struggling to find that, you know. So SeaTac definitely has that. It's some of the best. It's so smooth too.
Yeah.
Like
And like,
crazy.
I had complained last year after my car went into a fucking rocket ship mode about like the lack of back straightaway
Yeah.
wall.
Yeah.
And, like the guys locally took it upon, themselves to sort that all out. And we saw the final kind of incarnation of that at this event. Before the season started, there was a metal retainer dividing the islands that are at the far side of the track on the straightaway side. And then there's a cut through. And they had engineered a piece that would like slot in between the dots that they had affixed to the track barrier. And they closed that whole thing off unless you're somersaulting, like a slightly errant or pushy car
Right.
won't cause shit to just blow up, which is great.
Well, and I think Todd mentioned, like the whole purpose of the track and the way they designed and laid it out is to be friendlier on cars, not cause damage, to um, uh, have a raceable surface and you know uh, competitive event that is safer for even the more beginner driver.
Yeah.
And I think they have officially accomplished that. I mean, they've done a very good job. Um, I love the little corner strip things that they have there. I
Mhm.
wish every track would just do those.
Yeah, they're very innovative. Like, and I don't know if people honestly know what we're talking about or not. So I'm gonna scan
They're kind
my
of like a
camera.
rumble strip without being a rumble strip.
Yeah, and all they are, and the Daniel checks could describe this to all of us, but all they are is effectively um, the lane markers that are used or that have been used in the past on highways
Mm-hmm.
instead of paint. So they're raised, and you have
Yep.
to put them on the asphalt with a torch. They
Right.
would kind of melt in, and I think they do a really interesting job in like preventing you from skipping over them.
Right.
You could certainly drive underneath them,
Yeah.
but then you're like getting four wheels into the gray. I'm sorry, the green that they have
Yeah.
painted, and that's pretty suspect. But
Track limits. Hey, I was called a couple times for track limits.
yep, yeah, and like the problem with the track limit things, and when you dance like in between the track limits, often you'll get caught out. And like, so whenever possible, those little like dividers, I treat them as if they're gonna like send my car because
Mhm.
I've had them send my car.
Yes. I mean, they're not full. I mean, like you can't sometimes you can get away with it. Sometimes you can't. It just kind of depends.
Yep.
And there was one section that, every time I hit it with my stock car, it would cause the car to spin out because I was turning on that surface and the car was loaded up in the opposite direction, and it did not like that. And so I just had to be leery of that spot.
Yeah.
But
And it's this material here that I'm showing, this red and white stuff.
Yep.
And they're at like the corners and like the apex points, and yeah,
They're
they
awesome.
can
They really are.
They don't like damage you.
Nope.
Realistically, like the worst case scenario,
Well,
you either spin out
Yeah.
or you flip over. That's it.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, those are awesome. I wish every place had those.
Yeah. And there's a lot of smart stuff going on there. And, like the crazy part is it really
it's just well thought out.
Oh yeah. And it's just in a park. Like that's the other, like,
yeah, that was the craziest thing. It's like, we're just driving down the street and, oh, there it is. Like, oh, okay. It's right here.
Yeah.
And the driver's stand is probably could be the most well-constructed driver stand in the history of driver stands.
Yeah. They, like the town required it be built in a certain way.
Yeah.
And so there's like these giant, cement blocks, and it could handle a lot.
And what's really crazy is like the driver stand, and then there's a sidewalk, and then the road. It's like literally off the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, which is also too, because like there was a lot of people that would just be driving by, riding by, walking by, and they're like, "Hey, what's going on here?" Checking it out, because it's in a somewhat quasi-public place. And I think that's one of the things that RC racing in general just definitely needs, is to be in the more public eye versus, just being locked away in the middle of wherever or in some building that no one is, that's totally obscure from any public visibility. I think, when we race at Flagler here in Florida, it's one of the best races because it's in a parking lot and people are going to the local Publix or wherever, Woody's or what's there. They're like, oh, what are these people doing over there? What's going on? And then they come and look at it, and then, okay, well, I might want to do this or whatever. Hell, there's an off-road track just across the way, and it's totally funster off-road track. It's a little carved out, but it's pretty funster. And like there was the new Losi mini bike, which I think is the weirdest looking thing ever. But hey,
yeah,
funsters are gonna love the motocross bike. I mean, this is they're all about the motocross bike, and so again, it gets people in it. Then they want to try it later on, and so I think that next year, this race, we definitely need to pound some heavier hitters to come on out. Come on up from maybe the West Coast area. Make a little bit.
Had some draw from NorCal, which would have been cool, but it just it didn't happen. And hopefully that changes for the next year. That's all we can hope. We got a question.
Oh shit!
All right, and here, look, we can help the people.
We can help people. This is what we're here to do. We're here to help.
Or make fun of. Or possibly peel. All right. So this has been discussed on this website. It's called Awesomatics USA. And you're going to have to go browse to the articles from August. And there's an article here that's called Dialing in Maximum Grip on the 800 MMX. And all this stuff was determined at SeaTac using hard tires.
Well, he's running on carpet.
What's that?
He's running on carpet, though.
It's the same thing.
Okay.
It's the absolute same thing. Okay? So with an MMX car, here's the optionality. You can run long links. Okay?
Yep.
I ran long links at our local northern Seattle suburb, or it's a little hard to call it a suburb, but this track thing called Nora, and I ran long links there, and it makes the car way easier to drive. You might be sacrificing a tenth or two, but if you can't string laps together, this will help with that tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other thing you can do is you can run progressive springs, but in the rear of the car. This also helps a lot with gaining rear, like side bite effectively.
I would only try the 15% ones though.
Well, yeah, again, try stuff, but like we're not going to give everyone here's the answer, because without being at the track, it's hard to tell. Yeah. But as Mangler said, maybe try the 15% version. All right. And then the last option that's out there is to use this handy dandy tool that was originally made by Ralph Wiggum, or at least that's maybe what we called the guy sometimes, and now is been re-engineered by Bill Sider through BS Works. And you can bend these springs. The springs have a 90-degree bend to them, and you can bend it to 100 or 110 degree. And this also gives side bite to the cars. So that's what I would say.
There's also, you can play with the rear toe shim. You can go down to like 0.5 millimeter or 1 millimeter.
Mm-hmm. Add more static toe.
Run the 23 AM23 ones, which you have an MMX, so I'm assuming you have the AM23 ones on the rear and not the 23Rs. Those will definitely help as well.
Yep. So all those things should help. All right.
And then a lot of it could just be body, right? So like, make sure you're running like a twister special.
There's a lot of body. I've never even mounted a twister special. You don't need one of those to get rear grip. That's bullshit. So.
Says this guy.
Yeah. Someone's asking, did you ever have to turn marshal a car?
Nope.
I picked up a F1 car that flipped over.
Yeah.
And maybe that like
I never had to marshal a car. So, yeah. But I was kind of taking like the most laziest area.
Yeah. But like there's not a lot of marshaling going on over there.
No, really little. Like I think I could probably count on two hands the times I saw cars get marshaled over the course of the like entire weekend.
Mm-hmm. So
we had 4 qualifiers, 3 mains, so 7 races. I could probably count less than 10 times I saw people get marshaled.
Yep.
That's even the coolest. I mean, the greatest thing. And like bodies, you could look. I think Corey Harpke said you ran a body there for like 2 years.
Yeah, maybe.
Like you don't. I mean, the only reason why I had a body issue is because it was split, but you know, that happens.
Yeah, and I don't know if I could actually like ever run one body for that little time. See, over my shoulder there, that's like a stack of rando bodies.
Yeah.
That I've tried. So.
Yeah, we all have that stack nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of which, body sale coming forward. If you have any questions, just IM me. I have a grip of bodies that I will be glad to get rid of.
Man, only the Mangler's getting help. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Last time that question gets asked. So,
oh, you're such a petty bitch.
Mangler can't pop up questions. Just saying.
Well,
yeah.
A great event. I guess we can talk about the results a little bit. So in qualifying, you were the TQ of 17.5?
I was.
Yes, and I was second in 17.5.
Yes, you were number 2.
Yep, I am number 2. I mean, not bad considering you're a track rat and bitch. And then, had all the times. I think I figured out why you were beating me. It was all down to size of stick. Your stick was a little bit bigger than mine.
Yeah, it is.
I'm talking about battery.
Sure, buddy. Whatever you say.
And then in mod, Stu was TQ. I ended up second in mod, and you were third.
I qualified third.
Yep. So
and the one thing that I don't know, I'm gonna Mangler would probably say you were crying like a little girl about it. Like we had, there were interesting rules kind of being used at the time, and like, you know, I don't know if I was in love with them, but I dealt with them anyway. And
did you really deal with them?
I did. I qualified third. I dealt with
you cried like Carlos Sainz. That's what you did.
Oh, wow. Dude, you're such a Carlos Sainz hater. Anyway, the reality is, you know, there were two things that are a little weird. Like on one of the race days, we got 2 sets of tires in mod, and the mains day we got another 2 sets of tires for mod. And you know what? Honestly, all that did was save me.
Yeah.
Because all I would have been doing is just running fresh sets every time.
Well, yeah, that's the way it should be.
Oh, well, maybe. But like the reality is, if you only had 4 sets of tires, I would just be like, I'm going to try to TQ every round. That's it.
Well, you did, though.
I didn't at all. I didn't have fresh sets, and I didn't TQ any rounds. So.
Yeah, you did. In 17.5.
Oh, no, but that's 17.5. We only had 1 set of tires in 17.5.
Yeah.
That wasn't a problem.
Oh, in mod, yes. I would have been
mod.
nice to have fresh sets every time.
Yeah, I didn't need fresh sets in 17.5. The car was fucking good, so it doesn't matter. But like I know what a car, like I've run 17.5 speed cars a lot. All right.
Yeah.
I know what a good one is like, and I know what a non-good one is like. That's fine. You know, like the mod touring game is not really a big thing that happens on the East Coast. Most everyone who tries to run mod touring on the East Coast looks like a fucking no talent ass clown.
Oh, and that's one thing I wanted to bring up too. It's like there was 8 guys that were running mod, and everyone ran very well. Like, there was 0 squirrelage.
Yeah.
Like
and like even so these guys
and like it would. I also want to point out that there was some of the most considerate. I don't know if it was just me because I was out of town and they're being nice to the out of town guy. I doubt it. I didn't think so. But like I'm out there practicing and dudes are just like stopping and pulling over and then going. Like,
well, maybe they've been learned.
Maybe you've broken them in.
I don't think I have. Maybe other people have. But like the reality is,
it was so nice and refreshing.
The speed of a mod car often scares the fuck out of people, and rightly so. They go fast.
Yeah, they fucking are fast.
Yeah, but end of the day, like even how the layout is, like you can pull wide, you can kind of drive through a green section, you can let another car by.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, it allows the flow to keep going. Like that's really what
happens. Some guy ricocheting off the fucking pipe because he's trying to get out of your way.
Yeah.
And then it ends up fucking taking you out.
Yeah. Or not that often, sometimes. But yeah. And whatever the case was, I think qualifying was pretty tight. Stu Mason had a new Automatics 800R for the race. He had been running some older MMXs, not even his real car last time. He had like bought a used car because he sold a car and then he had problems getting a car, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so he had his car on the track for the first time and, was like just playing with it, figuring things out, doing whatever he does. And I think there was a lot of overall, like I didn't do a count. It's not like we had like the biggest turnouts in the world at the race, but there was a lot of Automatics cars out there.
Right.
That's all I'd really say. And a lot of Automatics t-shirts, a lot of Automatics hats, there's a lot of love at that track, which is great. And it makes it easy for folks who race the car, and if folks need parts, somebody's got parts. If you don't know what the hell you're doing with your car, you just ask, and you might get 12 suggestions, and you got to try some of them.
Yeah.
But it's not like someone's gonna be like, "Yeah, dude, I don't know what the fuck to do with that thing,"
Yeah.
So, and all in all, like I think the performances were really good. We can go to the qualifying. Maybe let's go look at the facts and the figures. I haven't really spent a lot of time on this, but we can look. I think I'm just going to look at the qual points because that's fun. And here we go. All right, so this is qual points here for Super Stock Touring, and we only had 13 guys run. We also did something a little different where we took 3 rounds out of 4, which I think is a little extreme, but whatever the case. And then, in round 1, me and you had a big advantage on the rest of the field where we both did 23 laps.
Wow, I didn't realize round 3 we were that close. It was like 1/10 of a second.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's okay. Then I spent round 4 like gluing tires for my mod car, and I sat out. Help people with their pointage, and all in all though, like 5 flat, 504, 502. Uh-oh.
Who we lose?
All right.
There we
go. I disappeared. So times here, like 5 flat, 504, 502, 505, 506, 511. Top 5, top 6 were all kind of like right there.
Yeah.
Which, it's good to see. And then you can see the track slows down. All right. Round 1, fast round. Round 2, second fast.
Well,
round 3,
we ran the 4th round on our tires.
I don't think that shit matters. I think it's the track.
Okay, whatever, dickhead. It matters.
I don't think it matters that much.
Oh, it does. I mean, I put on new tires in stock. I could go from running 13.8s to 13.1s.
Okay, maybe.
I mean, I did have hot lap.
You had hot lap every time around the track, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter. Just saying.
Didn't have a big enough stick to.
Whatever. It's only you've only had size issues every once in a while in your life. It's okay. Then let's just go look at F1 because it's here. There was a 3 out of 4 for Albert Gonzalez, and then George Strickland, and then Rich got 3rd. We didn't really run through this one, so it was Mike, Monty, Corey, Brian, Jake, Todd, Braden, and then Mark Dawson making the show. And then in mod, we only had 8 guys. Stuart got 3 TQs, and then he did race round 4, which is an interesting move. You qualified 2nd. You got the round 4 TQ.
Yep.
You were on Freshies.
Yes.
Okay. I got a 2nd in round 3. I was on Freshies. So Stuart hung 7 seconds on me. Kind of hurts. I think my butt hurts.
I would have round 3. I screwed up. I probably would have ran a lot better than what I did. I just didn't have the top deck attached to the front of the car.
Okay. And
so that was why my car was a bag of crap.
Okay. Anyway, and then you something happened in round 2.
Yeah, round 2.
You broke in warm up.
I broke in warm up. It was a really freak thing. I was coming off the end of the straightaway. I must have clipped that stuff we were talking about, and the car kind of just shot left real quick and tapped the wall and broke the upper link. And oh well, you're out. You're out. What are you gonna do? I saved the tires for round 3, so they should have been fairly decent. second run tires. But like I said, I had loosened up all the top deck on the front of the car, kind of working on some things, and I didn't retighten it. So
yeah, all the things.
Yeah. Oh well.
Yeah. Yeah, it is what it is. And but like in round one, you were, only about 3 seconds off. I
Yeah.
was 5 off. Like things were pretty close in round one. So but yeah. And I don't know, all not bad. Let's see, what else we got here? USGT. Braden took the TQ, 1, 2, 3. And then Richie, and then Clifton. And we also had VTA. Wasn't a ton of cars for VTA, but
great racing. Oh my God.
Yeah. The race between Mike Crozier and Albert Rosales was very good.
Oh my!
All right.
Every race they swapped the lead at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that by far, that had the best racing, I would say, and yeah, it was pretty cool. So anyway, then we could. I don't know if we can just go look at the summaries. I think the summaries are going to be good enough. So yeah. Super Stock A1 was pretty interesting. Shit got real. And
this is qualifying, isn't it? No.
Nope. This is ranking of all the races.
Okay? Oh, okay.
And so shit got real. And Braden, who qualified 7th, won the race because I pulled it after getting a body tuck. Mangler pulled it or broke something 2 minutes in.
I got in a wreck going on the straightaway, and I thought it broke the car, but what it did is the rear body mount had folded down, so it made it look like the suspension was up in the body. So I thought the car was broken. It really wasn't. But I was just like, I'll just save the tires. Yep.
And then Jake also pulled his car about 2 minutes in. So kind of interesting. All right. Little, I would say my classification of that race was, it was a shit show. And then, like, look, A2 went kind of as qualifying order might expect. The only people out of order here was Braden and Mark. And then again, like A3 almost went as expected. But yeah, all in all, it is what it is. And we had some good battles, I would say, in A1 and A2. It was more about like my entire strategy was keep away from Mangler. And if I could get through the first infield entrance, and if I could get through the first down the straightaway and again into the infield entrance, I was confident that I wouldn't fail. So I didn't. But all in all, pretty close. So let's go check out the other ones. All right. F1. Albert kind of made it interesting. He won A1, won A3, and kind of failed a little bit in A2. Rich got second. George got third. All right. What else we got? Mod. So Mod was pretty good. I had a similarly terrible A1 where I basically did a lap and I pulled it.
Right.
I got, I think, a body tuck, or I got flipped over.
I think you got flipped over and you slid for a while.
Yeah, I was on my lid, and I had to drive back around. I was just like, oh, fuck this. This is dumb. Anyway, but like in this race, there was a lot of people like driving back up. So anything seemed like it could have been possible in A1. Mm-hmm. You finished second there, only 3 seconds off. And for like the first 2 minutes or so, it was pretty close between you and Stuart.
Right.
How'd your car feel?
It was pretty good. Like, and for most of the weekend, I pretty much didn't make any changes to the car from Friday. I just kept driving it and just trying to drive better because it was like it felt really good. It was competitive speed wise. It never like throughout the course of the day, the cars didn't really, I don't think, change too much, even though it got warmer or colder. I don't think the cars really changed anything. I think the only thing that, hindsight being maybe 2020 and just what I've, thought about is that I might have had the front spring too stiff and that I was probably overheating the tires. And so like the last minute and a half or 2 minutes, I kind of lost a little bit of pace. The car was maybe got, a little freer or whatever. But other than that, that would just be something to try, I think. But for the most part, I thought my stuff was pretty close and competitive. Yeah.
Okay. And I pulled it. And then so third in that round was Jake, and then Andy Lee, and then Corey. So A2, Stuart won again.
Yep.
But much different race.
Yes.
And so we might need to, let's actually, I don't know, the lap chart is so annoying to me. And I don't like how this stuff looks. I wish I had like a printed sheet.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a pain in the dick to look at it. But what do you remember about A2?
Stuart got a little loose on the second lap, and I was able to get around him. And this was the second run on the tires. So this run was this was new tires for me. So this is another new run of tires. So
so you ran new tires in A1. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, so I ran new tires A1, new tires A2, and the car was fairly decent. And I was Stuart was a little faster, but I was able to hold him off for a while, and then
So I pulled up in another screen. You were in first for lap 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
And then something happened. And
Yeah.
then we were in third.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a
kerfuffle.
That was a kerfuffle. I don't remember exactly what happened, but
something.
And then I ended up getting the lead back.
Yep. By lap 11, you were back in the lead.
Yeah, I was back in the lead, and I don't know what lap it was, but I got loose going onto the straightaway, and Stuart caught up to me, and then we ended up wrecking at the end of the straightaway, and my car was then done. And so he was able to hold on and not break and finished in 1. So now I had pretty much a full, what I run, 4 minutes? Or 3, about 4 minutes. So I had 4 minutes on my tires. So when we lined up for A3.
Yeah, but so let's just make sure we're on the same page here. So you were in A2 on lap 17. You were scored in the lead.
Yep.
And then you never did lap 18.
And nope, that was it. All she wrote.
Okay. All right. Well, I think it was going good till then.
It was. At worst, I should have ended up second, I think. Just by the fact that I was on new tires and the way my pace was and how far ahead we were of third at the time.
Yeah.
So I think at worst, I should have probably ended up second if the car didn't break. But it did. Fucking wheels fell off. It was a pretty bad wreck. Broke the top deck. Pretty much destroyed the lower arm. So yeah, it was a good wreck. And anyway.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. You and Stuart got together somewhere between lap 2 and 3, and then I got past you and him. Is that right? You and him. I'm looking at lines. No, I was in between you and him.
Yeah.
And then Stuart drove right through me and body tucked the fuck out of me. And he got called for a stop and go. And so he was driving angry. Let's put it that way. And that's what happened.
So yeah, A2 for the mod wasn't necessarily the cleanest race. I mean, there was a lot of, and that's one of the things with that track is that I think there's a good and a bad, right? I think when we look at stock, if you look at the stock A1 where we started, you know how there was the big controversy at the beginning of what line we should start on and whatever. I think moving back after that race was a definite plus and help as far as the starts went, because the start of A1 for 17.5 was just horrible. And so I think that was a good positive. But in mod, I think the track lends itself to really close racing, and it's you know, the way that, because there is no corners per se or barrier, there's a lot of alternate lines you can take, and you can definitely gain a lot of ground by driving in really deep and hard versus say a track that might have a board or barrier there. And so body tucking or tapping or whatever was quite common. I never experienced the body tuck, knock on wood, thank God. But yeah, it makes for some really hard, close racing. So I can see where that would happen.
Yeah. And, in A3 with Stewart all locked up, it was myself and Jake with new tires.
Yeah, so you and Jake had fresh sets of tires. I ran the rears from my A1 and A2 sets, which were really good for like the warm up and then maybe like the first 3 or 4 laps. And then after that, I'm like, oh shit, here they come. I was like, I got no more tires. And it was just kind of like, I was just really a sitting duck. I not much I could have done to hold you two off. And I think, you guys would finish a few seconds ahead of me. So, yeah, 2-3 seconds ahead of me. I think that was a big difference in tires, more so than anything. But, good runs by Jake and you, for sure. Strategy worked in your favor. If I would have just finished A2, I would have had 2 2s and would have ended up probably second anyway. So, oh well, not the end of the world.
Yeah. And, this wasn't my plan. It's just that after I had such a bad A1.
Yeah, you didn't run A1, so you essentially had fresh tires A2, A3.
Yeah.
And I think Jake planned it that way. So,
yeah. So, my plan was to be swinging and not go downswing. So, but whatever.
I think strategically, what I did was probably the right call because I was starting second, and Stewart was going to run fresh. So in order to keep up with him and try to keep him honest, I needed to run fresh. Where Danielchek being starting third or fourth or wherever he started, he had that luxury of I can save tires for here or there. Where did he finish in A1? He was third.
He was third, and then A2 he was fourth.
Fourth, right. So, I think being third, you kind of had that option to, necessarily go new tires A1, A3, and not A2. So, it paid off for him in the end.
Yeah. So
I don't mind tire strategy like that. I don't like it when we only had one set for like 17.5.
Yeah.
I really, I would have liked to had 2 sets for both 17.5 and mod for Sunday. But, whatever. I don't think it really would have changed the outcome. Eat a dick.
Because, the reality was like, it was really just about going clean in super stock, and then like whatever stuff you brought with you,
right?
Was it going to handle the power, demand or not?
I think the tires were a good tire. I just didn't like the fact that the sidewalls tore. And what was it? So we had to glue the sidewall of the tire and to keep it from tearing. But what would happen is where we would put the glue between the rim and the tire, it would tear just above the glue. So then you had to go up a little higher. And then, it was it was a constant effort of taking the tires off, cleaning them. And it was such a distraction. And, the smaller, the tighter program, and, granted, we had some time here and there. I still felt, we didn't have, because the tires were such a distraction, the way we were saucing tires and the way we were doing our tire prep, it didn't lead to how I normally would prep my car.
Mhm.
I don't know if it really made a difference overall.
Yeah.
But
And
I think that there was some things that I normally would have done,
yeah.
And I just didn't get around to it because it was like, I got to get these tires all fucking glued up. I got to get, I got to get them on the car 3 races ahead of when I need to go out. And so it was literally like you couldn't really prep the car, and it made it a little bit more difficult than what it probably should be. I think if one of those things wasn't there, the non-gluing and or the extra sauce time, I would have been able to do those things that I normally would have done. Again, I don't think it would have made a difference in the end, but it's just things that it could have helped a little bit. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I just looked at my phone and I've received some urgent pictures to talk about what we were doing earlier.
Okay.
And
there's a question. There's some questions.
Yeah. I let's just visit this and then we'll
come back.
We'll be done with it. All right. So just get them into new pictures. Here we go. All right. So,
and Dave Vera, yes, I'm a new tire hero.
Yep.
I learned this from you.
He loves new tires too.
Oh, right. That motherfucker loves them some tires.
All right. So this is Alex Danilchuk, and for some reason it doesn't let me zoom in, but this is the structure that is the pits. I'm sorry, not the pit, the driver's stand.
Driver's stand, yes.
And so there's like this basically 3-step situation here.
Kind of looks like a reverse bleacher.
Yeah. And it's like 2 or 3 planks deep at the end, and then you step down, and the step goes the entire distance. Yeah. But you can see like it's a total brick shithouse. Like, it's over-engineered to the nines.
Yes. I mean, it's hurricane proof.
Yeah.
The thing about that driver's stand is when you first get on it, right, and you're driving, and then you're like, oh, I'm just gonna like walk off this motherfucker.
Yeah, you're gonna fall
normally
off.
You don't have to step off of anything. I damn near killed myself.
I agree. All right. So then next one is here, I think. Yep. And so this is the that material.
Yep.
That's down. This is like these are pictures from when they did the track clearly, and I don't know what that looks.
There's a local track next to me in Brandon called Heroes Paradise Raceway, which should just do this because this shit's amazing.
Yeah, but like they kind of had to buy into specific layouts. That's the only thing. They made islands. You can switch it up.
Yeah.
So
and that stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
Anytime you can go and you can race and you don't fucking destroy bodies left and right, is a good place.
I agree. Full agreement. All right, so we got a question. Let's answer the question for the people.
I'm sure if somebody really wanted to get that stuff, they could get a hold of the Danilchuks and they would be glad to sell them it. Or at least
so here's the question.
All right.
What are your opinions, disadvantages, advantages of the fish car, the Jesus fish car, or the older car? So here's my take. This 800R is the best touring car Osmax has ever made, full stop. And the reason I say that is for me, basically 2 reasons. First one is it has more, at least on the carbon car, has more rear traction than I've ever seen an Osmax car have. And the second reason is the new shock, the D3 dampener. And this is in the first go around from the first production run of kits. That shit don't leak. I built mine once. That's it. So I love the car mostly from the grip advantage and the quality of the shock. Only thing that's bad about it, I can't get any right now. That's the only thing bad. Otherwise, it's the tits.
You turn around, you're to your right there. There's a whole fucking pile.
Dude, why you gotta be talking about things? I don't know what you're talking about.
I just spent the whole weekend at your house, and it's a goddamn fucking hobby shop. I mean, I look around and I'm like, ooh, what's that? I just want to like look at everything. I just want to like, ooh, what's he got here? Over here.
Yeah, there's
what's
good stuff here.
It's like you have everything, dude.
Uh-huh.
Like you had, like we walked out to your garage and you had buggies on top of buggies. Like it was fucking stacks of buggies. Like just ready to go. Just fucking throw it out there. Ready to go.
Yeah. Don't hate the player, hate the game, kid. All right. So that's my opinion. Mangler, what do you think?
I agree that the biggest advantage of the car is the dampeners. I don't necessarily agree with the statement that it has the most rear grip of any car, or of any Automatics car, because I still struggled with grip at certain situations and certain tracks. I think it probably does a little bit better as a straightforward bite car. However, the side bite is always kind of track dependent. So you still might have to struggle with that. As far as dampener ability, rebuildability, and all that, they're awesome. They might leak. I think the O-ring that goes around the swing vane, that one might leak a little bit every now and then. However, the best thing about these is you put them back. You take the two screws off the back, pull the cover off. You can just add a little bit more oil, pump it up, and like within 10 minutes, you have a shock rebuild. Like you don't have to take anything apart. You pull it off, throw some more oil in there, make sure you get all the air out of it, put it back together, and you're in the car.
And I've even like at a race between a round gone from progressive dampening to linear dampening, and
it's really not that bad.
No, it's very simple because the whole fact that the old dampener, like the very first dampener, was a one-piece thing. Okay. And then when they went to the two pieces, it's harder to mate the things. You got to have it oil free because then it would twist and all this other stuff. So I think, it's really just better. So,
yeah, I think the dampeners are the next level of the car. It's now keep in mind in 17.5 this weekend, I was running your old car, an MMX. And it had long links on it. And it was basically kind of.
You had long links on that car?
Yeah.
Oh, you should have put short links on it. It would have been way better.
No, it wouldn't have.
Okay.
Because,
Okay.
It was good.
All right.
But yeah.
I think you could have won if you put short links on.
I think I could have won if I had a bigger battery, but that's another story. Anyway, I ran the MMX car. It was very competitive still. So I think that they're both capable. I don't think you're going to have, I'm sorry to ruin your sales, but, I think you can still be fast on an MMX. I think the 800R is kind of like, it's a little like this. So it's a little like Lando Norris has all the upgrades, which is the 800R. And then your Piastri, and you only have not quite all the upgrades on an MMX. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that's different. I kind of buy that. Yeah. But, like the cars are very similar, but you can't put the same setup on them. All right?
No, not even close. They're like total fucking difference.
Yeah. And
I mean, the MMX, we've kind of come up with this setup for like the last several years. And so that, it kind of works a lot of places and very well. I'm getting to the place now where I've run Coral Springs, I've run Valkyria, and I've gone to SeaTac and on my 800R and mod, and I've done not what I would consider a lot of changes, minimal at best. The one thing that I did change between, say, Valkyria and the Coral Springs to SeaTac is that I just took a lot of the rear grip out of the car that I had to put in there. And that was it. It was very, it took me 15 minutes to change the setup to where, it was comparable. So yeah, and again, the dampeners in and out on the 800R is such a beautiful thing. Like you just take a little screwdriver, pop the ball out, and then 2 screws, and it's out. I mean, it's so nice and quick, easy, efficient. So I really do enjoy the 800R platform a little bit more. I think the only thing we could do better or make more convenient is roll center changes, but it is kind of what it is at this point.
Yeah, someone just needs to make some shims. It's an opportunity for someone to make them. So
I don't like the U shims. I don't. I really like. I think they fuck with the car, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, here's a question: how different are the driving styles?
I don't think we're that far off. I think we kind of like a little bit of the same thing.
Yeah, and so like the major thing I would say is so.
Which is also you can tell them about the story about Sunday too. I love your car.
Oh, okay, yeah, we'll talk about that, Dick. Anyway, so you know, Mangler and I, we both used pretty much all the dual rate on our wheel.
No, I don't use all the dual rate.
I'm gonna say okay. I didn't drive your car actually, so
yeah.
So you have to talk about that.
Okay. I think the biggest thing between driving his car and driving my car, they're similar in the aspects that they're very comfy in the rear end. They're very locked in. His car might take a little bit more wheel input than say mine, but for the most part, they have rear grip, and that's kind of what we like. I think that comes from our ability to run 12 scale, and that's how we like. I think we both agree that our better class is 12 scale generally, and that we're trying to make touring cars drive like 12 scales. In some
I'm not.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm not though. That's the reality. Like a touring car has to drive like a touring car, but the one thing in particular about me, especially for mod, is I am not. I'm not able to really drive the power that a traditional mod driver would have. All right. So most mod drivers, if there's like, let's say my thumb is the back of the trigger, and this is not the scale clearly. Most mod drivers, they are like modulating their on throttle. I drive my car like a fucking stock guy, and I go like this: bam, bam, bam. So if I do that with other guys' cars, I can't do more than a corner or 3 without basically crashing. Now, there's different people that have different like setup styles. I would say the majority of like Stewart's car and Corey's car, I've driven both of them like at least in the last month, and both of those cars I basically spin the fuck out.
Yeah, me too. I haven't driven Stewart, but I drove Corey's this weekend. I couldn't even do a lap. The damn thing was spun. I spun out coming on the straightaway. Like it was.
I won't drive it fast onto the straightaway.
Oh,
like if I can't get through the infield where the big walls aren't, then I won't go. So.
Well, I wanted to feel his power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You felt it. It's fun out.
Well, because of the power.
Now there's a follow-on. Are you more aggressive with steering?
I don't think I'm more aggressive. I just think that I don't turn the wheel as far as you do.
Yeah, and I basically drive my cars lock to lock, and so my 12 scales are that way, and my touring cars are that way. My two-wheel drive buggies are that way. My 8 scale buggies are that way.
Yeah, I don't necessarily get the lock. I'm probably a little bit. You're more lock. I'm probably more mid to mid.
Okay. And some people can do that. I just can't do that. It's not one of my skills.
Yeah.
So sometimes people will ask me to drive their car, and I'll try to. And if I can't, I just ratchet the door right down real fast. And usually 2 things I do to most everyone's car that they ask me, hey, drive my car. I usually take the door right down, and I take down the push brake, because people usually have, in my opinion, too much.
Right. But yeah, so on Sunday, I drove your car, and I went like 3/10 faster than you did.
You went 1/10. Simmer the fuck down.
Oh, that's 3. I think it was.
You went 1. I can pull up the fucking numbers. Stuart went 3/10 faster than me. All right, Dick. And then I went back.
I went faster than Stuart.
You did go faster than Stuart, but I went back to the pit. Stuart drove my car. I did a 13.3 on some practice tires, and he did a 13.0. And yeah, that always feels good. So I had tried, and so I'm for a prop. I'm showing you the broken ass one. All right. I had tried this lens body here, but not the ultra light. I tried the lightweight version, and I put that on my car, my mod car, before the beginning of the mains, like during practice on Sunday. And because of 2 things. Number 1, I love Alex Hagberg, and he's been running it. And number 2, I was adding more and more rear grip into the back of my car. And ultimately, what I thought was going on was the car was just pushing under power. And so this body's a little freer than the OG Twister, which I was running earlier. And so I ran that, and I like that. And again, I didn't run A1, which sucked. So basically, whatever I ran in practice, but with new tires in A2, and then for A3, I actually added more steering to the front of the car. And so yeah, and what you'll see, George, is like there are things on setup sheets where people talk about what's their throw, like how far does the wheels throw, and it is something to consider.
So what was your throw on your mod car?
Well, I could look at my setup sheet because I show you that.
Mine was 28.
So if you go to Automatic USA, then you go to setup sheets.
I'll have my setup sheet to you tomorrow.
Okay. And then I go to 800R. And then I'm just going to look at my last setup sheet because I didn't change the steering stuff. All right. And so I can share it. Hopefully, let's see. Do I even have the data on there first? Let's see. Am I that jerk after I just said that? Please hold.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. No, I got it.
Ooh, look at you.
And so you're going to be like, huh? What? Yes, my travel on my setup sheet is at 27%, which I know is big.
Right.
And I am at 100% dual rate.
Yeah, I'm like 105 and 112 or something like that, and then
Well, that's your throw amount. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, but no, it's still a higher percentage.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, 28 is what my endpoint is.
Okay.
So, I think I'm 93 on the radio. 92, 93.
Yeah, I'm 100 in the radio.
Yeah.
I got like a fighter jet flying over here.
Yeah. That's the one thing I told you about Seattle. It's like it doesn't matter where the fuck you're at. You always hear planes taking off and landing. It's really weird.
Right. So
I don't know. I wonder if that's like echoing off the mountains or some shit, and that's why you can hear it easier.
I don't know. It's definitely something that has a big ass engine in it.
Yeah.
And so George is saying, putting driving style on a setup sheet. I don't think that it doesn't. Without knowing like the people, there's no way to do that. Yeah. Anyway, but all in all, I had a good time. Mangler, did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
All right.
I highly recommend it. I think next year we should make this bigger and better. I think the club needs to be a little more prepared in the tire front, and that we can buy more tires because, look, as a club, the more tires you sell, the more money you make.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to balance between scaring people away because it's going to be too expensive and having people come.
Well, I mean, perhaps you have idiot class, and then you have spec racer class, and then idiot class gets all the tires, and spec racer class.
I think that 17.5 class, the way they did it, was fine. Says the guy who TQ'd all the rounds and won.
In one, yeah. I would like to understand. I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered. So I guess this way, it probably wouldn't have been so bad in 17.5 if we didn't have to re-glue the sons of bitches all the time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now, Larry's actually asking, can you put hack as an option for driving style? Who's the hack? Me? Yeah. Nah, kid.
I think I didn't make a lot of friends, I think, in that first heat of 17.5, but it's all right.
Yeah, and who's the hack now, bitch?
Hey, like I said,
you get excited.
Like I said, I was like, just let me go. It'll be better for both of us.
You're not Max Verstappen, bro. All right. Now, like there's only one driver I know that has broken some people's wills in racing.
Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. There's two drivers I know that have broken people's wills in racing. First one was Mike G.
Yeah.
The second one was Kent Anderson.
Oh, yeah. Whose wills did he break?
What's that?
Whose wills did he break?
Whose will did which guy break? Why don't you ask the explicit question?
I don't understand what. All right, whatever.
Well, so what I would say is Mike G often breaks everyone's will. At 180.
Got it.
Like people will just get out of his fucking way there.
Right. Okay.
So it happens. It's not like those guys are a bunch of scrubs.
Nope. All right, 180.
Yeah.
Where national champions go to live.
Yeah, or they get made effectively. But yeah, that's that.
Did you see the big news in F1 today?
Yeah, but no one cares about that.
I do. I like Danny R. He's fun.
The only thing that is good about Daniel Ricciardo being in the worst car on the grid is that he doesn't have to become part of the worst broadcasting team in F1. And I actually think we're going to say that Ricciardo's broadcasting career has more promise than his future driving career.
Wow.
This has been recorded. We can figure out in December if I'm the hack now. Yeah. But I feel like he's washed up.
I don't think he is.
Okay. Well, all they're going to figure out at Toro Rosso or Alpha Toro, whatever the fuck they're calling that shit shin of the team right now.
Yeah.
Is Daniel Ricciardo washed up, and can he beat Yuki Tsunoda? That's all they're going to find out. And I would say if Daniel beats Yuki, Yuki's fired. If Yuki beats Daniel, Daniel's fired. Or they're both fired because they both suck.
Well, I think Yuki's only there because of Honda.
There's no more Honda, bro.
Well, that car still runs a Honda engine.
Okay. Well, in 26, there's no more Honda.
Yeah, you're right.
Or it has Fernando running, GP2 engines. Anyway. Yeah. But
I look forward to it. I think he'll podium.
Podium what? The last place on the track?
He'll top 10 this coming week or 2 weeks in Hungary.
You're out of your mind. Never gonna happen.
I think he will.
Nope. Negative.
Okay.
Ain't happening. We could talk about the actual F1 race too.
Yeah.
Which was impressive for McLaren.
Yes, it was.
Shit out of their ass.
Yeah, the folks in Woking and Surrey are fucking ecstatic right now. They're having a parade, I think, today.
Those words that you just said, what do they mean? Because no one really knows.
Surrey?
Yeah.
That's where McLaren's located.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounded like you were just saying you were sorry to all the people
No,
that
Woking
you
and
peeled.
no, I think they're actually
your-
Woking, and then sorry, or like I don't know. I don't know quite how it all works, but that's where they're located.
Okay, sure.
I mean, goddamn geography.
It's British geography too.
Yeah, whatever. See, look at me.
But yeah, I don't know. What else? Do we have other questions? We've had questions today. That's fun.
That's kind of nice. I like the question part. We're here to help. Though I don't know how many people actually want to listen to us. I mean,
Dude, it sometimes, people might ignore, but after a while they'll start listening.
I mean, we do know a thing about a thing.
Wow. So, Mangler, what's your next race to your knowledge?
Good question. I think the 30th of July, there's a practice race at Nuggets, a practice day at Nuggets. I might go do that. Other than that, I don't know. I think there's a carpet race coming up second weekend in August.
Whoa. A carpet race? What are you
Over
talking
Beach
about?
Lane. Go over there, run some 12 scale.
A carpet race?
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So get a little carpet, a little 12 scale in.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know what my next race is. So I'm going to be hopefully at lovely Jackson, New Jersey.
Nice.
This is for something they're referring to as the 2023 Summer Champs, sponsored by Awesome Axe USA. And they have mod touring and 21.5 touring and 17.5 touring and USGT and VTA and some other class that they've invented called A-Spec, which is like a budget fiberglass express car. I think that's what it is.
Nice.
So I'm basically
You're going
headed home.
for sure?
What's that?
You're going for sure.
I don't have an airline ticket, but I think I'm going.
Okay.
So I paid for my race entry. Let's put it that way.
That doesn't mean anything.
I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Until you buy a ticket, I don't know if you're going.
Yeah, I should be there.
All right. That should be a fun race.
I think it is. There's going to be the Andersons are going to be in attendance.
I know. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, these guys, they go from running one asphalt race to now, running a second asphalt race. It's crazy.
They're all about it now. They're all about that asphalt life.
Yeah.
So I think Felix is going.
Felix Law's going? No way.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard he's on his way up there. Dave Vera could be, maybe. Don't know.
Dave Vera's going to go?
There's a chance.
All right.
I know he's talking about it. I think there's some logistical things that might hamper that, but yeah, he's definitely talking about it. So yeah, it looks like a great race. Jackson's always a fun time.
And you've been there when you were on your BSR road trip.
Well, I was there. The last time I was there was 2015.
Mm-hmm.
But that was with work. I was working in Owego.
Oh, okay.
On the weekend. And
I ran the BSR road trip. Okay.
No. I ran at Jackson like on Saturday, and then Sunday I went and ran at that place
RC Car World in the flea market.
At the flea market, yep. And so yeah, I ran carpet and asphalt in the same weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was fun.
So I'm excited to be heading back there. I am going to do something that seems crazy. I'm running 3 classes.
Now, how's that crazy?
I don't know. If anything, to me, I feel like it will give me more time to just dial a car in.
Is VTA going to be one of them?
No. We're running stock, super stock, and mod, my friend.
Oh, okay. You're going to get them all, huh?
Yeah. So, we'll see how it goes.
Well, good luck. It's going to be a little stiffer competition than what I gave you.
Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
One thing you do have is like you do have the confidence at Jackson. Like
I have like 1 trillion laps at Jackson, New Jersey.
yeah. So like
I can't wait. I know exactly where I'm gonna stand on the stand. It's gonna be awesome. I hope they run a good layout. If not, I'm gonna be like, hey, can you run this layout? Because I really like that one. And yeah, we'll see.
I'm sure you can put a request to Sal. I mean Al.
Yeah. I think I probably could. So
Yeah. Like, hey Al, let's put this one in.
Yeah.
For my return to the Garden State.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. Just because it's fun to just ask, and I already showed. So I ran this body in the mod class.
Mm-hmm.
What body did you run in the mod class?
I ran the special.
Okay.
So
all right.
I started with the special. I ran that. I put the Wolverine on just because I just wanted to see, because sometimes I do like the Wolverine in mod as well. It was okay. And then I ran the regular twister, and I ran it actually for a couple batteries. And then I'm like, I want the special back. So I put the special back on, and I just ran that the whole weekend. There's a couple things. There's a couple setup things that I'm consistent that any track that I always try it. One is the twister special is always better for me than the twister body. Every track I go to, I try it. I hate it, or I don't hate it, but I just don't like it. And then the other thing is in the rear, always running 23 ones instead of 23 Rs. I don't think I'll ever run a 23R. Never say never, I guess, but like those are like two consistents that always kind of work for me. When I ran mod at Valkyria, though, a couple weeks ago, I did run the Wolverine there. Wolverine was way better than the special. But it wasn't so much that the Wolverine gave the car more turn in, but it calmed the nose down, but yet it still made everything just smoother around the longer corners that they have at Valkyria. So.
All right, I can buy that. Yeah. And you ran that same body at the Asphalt Nats there, so you already liked that body.
Yeah. So
and then I ran the Montec 02 in the super stock class. And so one of the things that I've been looking at is trying to sort out a better way of like describing how bodies are getting mounted.
Yeah.
And so I've been going back and forth with a few people. This is the latest sort of variant that I have. So this is the sheet that I put together for the 02. Right. And so, I don't really know. Is it like mixed or medium traction? It wasn't low traction, but it wasn't high traction.
No, it's a medium at best.
Yeah. And then
it just has good side bite. That's the key to it all.
Sure. And so what I put in here is I ran 3-hole on the post with an O-ring, which is the Automatics O-ring. This like front rearward thing, what I want to try to work on here is to make this more aligned with these tools that Bill runs or provides. Right. Now he has like 2 types though. Like there's one for the 800R and there's one for the 800 MMX, and they kind of work. They're like 1 mil different, which is maybe a little annoying, but I use that version. This stuff in the middle, like none of this helps me. None of this makes any sense to me. So I'm gonna try to get rid of that. And then at the back here, this height thing, I ran 44.5 mil. And the part that I used is specified below. And then I used Max's drill, like wing hole mounting thing.
Yep.
And how I use it is I drill the upright on the body.
Yes.
All right. Because you could use this thing in a multitude of ways. Right. So I use it on the body, and I only put 1 hole in the wing.
Right.
Okay. And so, like the rest of my notes here, so we're running the 50 gram edition body which is the lightest thing that Montec will pull. The body itself, race ready, is it's really about 60 grams. But the same thing with the 48-gram body from Twister, like it's about 60 grams race ready. I used his Red Hawk body mounting template. Then I used this body post system. I used the 12 millimeter tool. Then on the kit wing, there's like 2 holes, and I went in the middle of the 2 holes. I would like to find a good way to measure that. I don't know a good way to measure that. The new HRB thing, I didn't have the mount shimmed up. It was just on the bulkheads. And then this Mangler precision wing mount set, I used second to last hole. That's the part number. On the BDL screw, I ran 14.2 millimeter. On the rear body thing, I ran the 3rd clip hole. And then I used the wing button I used was this Radtech small head in black. And so that's what I ran. I have similar ones. I need to update the sheet for the lens body that I ran in mod. But because there's a lot of variation for this stuff, and it's kind of hard to track it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the part of the sheet, is just to get some more commonality and to get a more of a consistent. And that's kind of one of the things that, like, even the Mangler wing strut hole jig, you can always just say, hey, it makes it, it helps get a little bit consistent.
Yeah. Like I feel like I can mount a body in 10 minutes or less with all those sort of tools.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. And it's not a clear body. I can mount a painted body in 10 minutes or less. So, all right. With that, yawn, I think we might be in the wrap.
All right.
So this weekend, don't think we're racing.
No.
Anything crazy. I'm still in the process of building an 8 scale. I got diffs.
Ooh.
I got diffs.
Okay.
I got shocks. But I got to work on that still. And then I need to build a stock touring buggy. A stock touring car. And then, whatever. See what happens.
So you're going to go with 3 cars and not just switch out motors?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the super stock and the stock car are going to be almost identical. Right. The only thing difference is on the front of the stock car, I'm going to use linear dampening instead of progressive dampening.
Okay.
And mostly to see what it's like. Worst case scenario, I just take them, swap them between the cars,
Yeah.
or I swap motors, and then I know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
I know there was some talk about running linear instead of progressive at SeaTac.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see how that
Part
goes.
of the tuning process and things you got to try. That's all.
Yeah. That's it. And now I got lots of tires to test. Can't wait. Yeah. So, all right. Well, this is a show.
Yes, thank you. Again, thank you for your hospitality between you and your lovely wife.
Thank you for coming out.
Yes. Next year, we need to pump this up a little bit more, and maybe we can grab some more guys to fly on out.
Yeah. But I would say right now, unless there's a major life event, like, the Mangler getting married or something, I expect that you'll be at this race again.
Yeah, for sure.
It was fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was a great time. My friend came with me, and she hung out with your wife, and they had a great time and drank a lot of wine, and fun was had by all. I mean, last night you guys tried to get me drunk on some, I don't know what that was, but that didn't work. It was good. It was,
because you put other stuff into it. It was
I had like this little much of milk, like
it was espresso vodka, and then it was an Irish cream that comes out of Cork, Ireland. It's very nice.
Yeah, it was really good. I liked it. I'm not a big coffee guy, but it was still pretty good. But you guys were like, "Oh, this is going to get you white girl wasted."
You just didn't have enough of them. That's all.
Oh, well, then we need to hit those a little harder, then I guess.
Yeah, I think so. So anyway, all right. Well, Mangler, it's been a pleasure.
Yes.
And get some sleep.
I will.
If for some reason it's midnight and you're up still and you should have already been asleep, you can call me and I'll make fun of you if you'd like.
All right, deal.
All right, kid. Be
Later.
Good.
Thanks, everyone.
And everyone, we are still on Singlet Watch. Okay? Singlet Watch is real. YouTube.com/@RTTrackRats. We're at 269 still. This thing needs to be at 1,000. We can't do this without your help.
Yes.
Singlet Watch.
Yes.
That could be one of the upcoming episodes. Like, I think we're going to do a slight format change, and we're going to make it a little more predictable for everybody.
Okay.
And Singlet Watch is a part of this.
Ooh, all right. Can't wait.
Yeah, should be great. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Good night.